Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's Team of the Week of the Carling Currie Cup Round 3. A very good weekend of rugby, some very big results. The Sharks, Lions and Western Province getting much needed results to keep the Currie Cup alive in terms of being able to keep the chase on and Bulls, but also to sort of create a bit of space. And that top four starting to look quite solidified. And the Lions, who were under a lot of pressure to try and cement their place within that top four, managed to go and make a big statement against the Cheetahs, whilst the Sharks, on the other hand, kind of sort of, not necessarily obliterated, but at least made the Bulls look beatable and made it seem like the Bulls are no longer are not just the side that's, you know, just so much better than everybody else in the country, and they can be beaten. The Lions came close to beating them in the Super Rugby Unlocked, but the Sharks did push them all the way. And, you know, it's just, it's good for competition to be able to have, first of all, the teams within a couple of points of each other, and to know that every single side can be beaten. So that when it goes into playoffs, it means that the sides will sit there and say, you know what, it just takes an 80-minute performance and they can be beaten. So, you know, just mentally, a couple of some very good results, and the Currie Cup itself, as in terms of the log, is starting to shape up quite nicely for some very big clashes in the coming weeks. But today we're going to be looking at the standout players across the weekend, and quite reflective of some of the results and of the better games that we saw. And quite a difficult selection as well. Some players very unlucky to miss out. But we'll chat more about that now. Before we do look at the actual team, please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right hand corner there, smash like on the video as well. Jump in the comments, let me know which players impressed you. But in terms of our selection, this is what we have. So starting at the top, Stephen Kitsoff, also quite a difficult pick because I thought Chair was very good. But you know, the Western Province in a bonus point victory over the Pumas, 28-14 was the score. Stephen Kitsoff is just immense, and I mean, half the time I don't even bother changing the name when it comes to this because he's just always there. And if you look at his game, you know, he made 15 carries on Friday night. He was just relentless. 10 tackles on the fence, 3 turnovers. He's just everywhere, and he just does everything really, really well. And week in, week out, he's probably the most consistent performer in the country, you know. And if anyone is ever worried about the gap that the Beast is going to leave by retiring, while Stephen Kitsoff is filling it right now, he does, however, have some pressure from Chair, who I thought was also particularly good. Didn't get much to do in the open play in terms of his attacking running, but I thought was quite good in the defense. He made 9 tackles and didn't miss any of them. Johan Kwabala, I thought, was a very hard worker in a losing cause. He made 9 tackles, didn't miss one, the most of any Bulls player. And he won a turnover as well. Had a couple of carries, carried the ball up 4 times, and was reasonably solid. Although, you know, the lineouts of the Bulls sometimes could have been better, but overall, I thought he was very, very good. And to be fair, I think, you know, when you look at the lineouts towards the end, you do need to look at Skulk Erasmus, who did replace Robert. So I think he himself was very good this weekend. Probably one of the better Bulls players. Well, to be fair, the Bulls players were decent, but just a couple of mistakes here and there. And then Yanni du Plessis is my tight head, and I must admit, I wasn't particularly happy at seeing when I first saw him play named in the side. I just thought that, you know, there's so much talent in the Lions turned a tight head. You know, I'd love to really see some other players get a chance, but he did stand up and he played very well. And for a 38-year-old, he got around the park, had a fantastic try. Steve Satole and Yanni du Plessis combining there was brilliant to see. It really was textbook Lions. And then for the lock combinations, Willem Albert, the bone crusher. Again, the veterans are standing up, you know, and every single time he ran with the ball, he made meters. He was such a big part of getting the Lions over the advantage line all the time. So, I mean, he made 12 carries over the weekend and a really good try. And it's just, you can't replace, there is no replacement for just sheer size and power. And that's what he brings to the Lions. The Lions sometimes pack has been guilty of being a bit lightweight because you've had Marvin Orie as your sort of bigger lock. And Marvin Orie is not a small player by any means. But when you're partnering with Willem Albert, you suddenly have a very big lock combination, which allows maybe the more lightweight, better in the loose trio of Jack Kriel, Vincent Chatucha, and Len Messane to operate around them. Carl Wegner was a nuisance for the Lions at the beginning. You know, he was disrupting them all very well. He really wore his heart on the sleeve this weekend. He led from the front. He made 12 tackles on 2 turnovers. In a losing cause, he was very impressive. 7 carries. He tried really, really hard, and he really tried to put the Cheetahs on the front foot. So credit to him. I thought Hiron Andrews is another one who stood up quite well. As well as Rourat is one of those players who just continues playing well week in, week out. Made 11 tackles this weekend. He just doesn't miss tackles. He's a very consistent performer. And then the loose cheer, Dylan Richardson was fantastic for the Sharks. He was in the face of the Bulls the entire match. You know, had a bit of a go at Dwayne Vermeulen, but he made 11 carries. He made 8 tackles. He won 2 turnovers. He was just everywhere. And I think what we saw this weekend is that his future probably does lie at flank rather than hooker. He was very, very good. I was very impressed with his energy, with his mobility around the park. He just made a nuisance of himself all the time. And then after that, Vincent Chatucha, the man of the match for the Lions versus Cheetahs game. I'm a big Vincent Chatucha fan. I think he will play for the Springboks in the future. You know, he's big, he's a hard worker, but he's also got a very good skill set. Very nice offload game. Looks for work all the time. Made 9 tackles this weekend. He carried the ball up 6 times. Had a very good break, which resulted in a try. I'm very impressed with him and very happy with his efforts. Jean-Andre Rudolph, another one who, in a losing cause, sometimes conceded a few penalties. I think he conceded 3 by the end, but he worked very, very hard. I mean, he made 15 tackles, missing just 1, and won 4 turnovers. So, you know, that move to the Cheetahs has been proving to be a really good one, and he's working very, very hard for them. I thought he's been unlucky sometimes, you know, to not be further rewarded for such a big performance. Number 9, it could have only been Andre Warner, who scored 2 tries, came back into the side after a bit of spell on the injury, and didn't look out of place at all. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. You know, he got Lions front foot ball. He was nice and quick at the rucks. I mean, he kept Morne van den Berg, who's been one of the standout players for the Lions, on the bench for 70 minutes because he was just playing too well to take off. And then for number 10, Cohen Bosch outplayed Morne Steyn. You know, kicked very, very well. Was a major part of the Sharks winning the match itself. A fantastic cross kick for Penke for the try. Didn't have much to do on the defense. He made 3 tackles and missed 1, but he made a couple of carries, and his kicking was very good. His goal kicking was very good. I mean, he had that fantastic penalty from about 57 odd meters down at sea level, which was particularly impressive. So yeah, I mean, you can't really fault his performance, and he just completely outplayed Morne Steyn. Angelo Davis, I thought, tried very hard in the Western Province game. Always looks very exciting when he has the ball, you know, and the seven sort of experience comes through. So whilst he might not have had that many running meters, you know, I think he beat 4 defenders, 1 line break in his 5 carries. He looks for work and got another try to his name. And it's really good to see more of the Sevens players really standing up. The centre combination, now 12 was a bit of a difficult one. I thought Rickers Pretorius was pretty impressive. Made quite a few running meters, looked a lot better than he has in the previous weeks. But the reason I'm going Cornel Hendricks is because he was tireless. He made 8 tackles in his defense, scored a fantastic try, made 3 ball carries, but yeah, I mean, for me, it was defensive work that really stood out, and the Bulls' defense was pretty decent for a large part of it, and a lot of Bulls players really stood up. Look, I mean, the Sharks' defense as well. It was just a game of really good defenses and physical and really big collisions, and it was a great game to watch. But I just think Cornel Hendricks, you know, his transition to 12 has been seamless. And it was another very impressive performance from this weekend. Number 13, Lakanya, I'm back for the Sharks. Gets a try on the ball, and you can just see, much like what Dasila Similani, when he gets the ball, you know, he's just exciting. You know, you're waiting for things to happen. He's got the fantastic offload game. He sees space very well. He's a very intelligent player. He looks for space. He can kick over the top. He's just a very, very good player. In my opinion, probably one of the best 13s in the world at the moment. Spoon Corsi, number 14, was very impressive. And they didn't get much to do. The Wings didn't get much to do in the Sharks versus Bulls clash. But he looked for work. You know, he made 6 carries, made 6 tackles on defense, but he just looked for work. And his contributions are quite decisive. When he was involved, it was quite a meaningful contribution. So I was very impressed with him. Stian Pino has also played very well again for the Lions. A different type of wing, you know, a bit smaller, a bit stockier, a bit more powerful, but really good leg drive, and he works very, very hard as well. For the Bull, Curtly Orange, I didn't have much to do, unfortunately, for him. Made a couple of tackles, but not too many running meters. And Marnus Portkita on debut also had a busy first opening period, but after that, not much. And then number 15, Moni Liebach, was the creator of the Lakanya try. Fantastic vision by him. You know, was genuinely good under the high ball. There was one particular incident where he did drop one, which was quite basic. But apart from that, you know, made some decent meters, got some offloads, got a try assist. And I looked at that much to do on the defense. But you know, he's just a very exciting player. And I thought against the Bulls, where he wants to make a statement, he really did stand up and play very, very well. Probably better than David Creel, who had pretty much a time of fielding long balls and and try and do his kicking game going there. So that's our team of the week. A couple of players will always be unlucky to miss out, so please let me know who you think also deserve to have been included in the team below. Please do subscribe, please smash like, comment on the video as well. Let us know what your feedback is, and we'll be back tomorrow with 5 things we learned from the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I will chat to you very soon.